So question for you.
Yeah.
Going back to the tech part of this.
Sure.
Do you use any software? What do you use in your process and that's related to tech when you're doing like public art?
So primarily I use Photoshop. So here's my process to try to give a quick version of it when it comes to putting a mural together. So the wall is if it's multiple stories tall, and usually they are, what I would do is I'll get the entire scale of the wall itself. I would, use either a laser to measure the height and width of a wall. And what I would do is I would take an image of the entire wall itself.
Sure.
So I'll upload the image into Photoshop. I'll take those exact measurements of the wall. I'll actually expand the file size to, well, sometimes it makes the file way too big, but I try to expand it to the size of the actual wall. Or what I'll do is I'll use math and divide, what it could be at a lower scale, at a smaller scale. So
you're
the file
an artist,
size.
you use math?
Of course I do. Especially in public art. Because here's the thing, I only have one opportunity to get this right. I can't make the same mistakes I make on paper, on canvas, because it's public art and because it's acrylic that I work on, which is a fast drying medium. I have very little room for error.
So you don't have an AI assistant?
No, I do not. It's all math, and part of this comes from my the architectural and carpentry background that I have from my mom and dad. So,
sure.
But no, art and math. I mean, yeah, they do go hand in hand, and I definitely use a lot of math when it comes to creating murals. Okay. So one such example would be the Dr. Maya Angelou mural that I created in Los Angeles, in South Central. So that was only 2 stories high. However, I was working on the mural indoors. I use this, parachute cloth that I sometimes work on when I'm doing a mural. So what I had to do was to find a way to accurately measure what each individual tile was going to be. I reduced into like a grid. So once I did that, I was able to make my cuts, and then once I fit it onto the wall, I mean, everything was perfect. So the thing with public art is, number one, you're dealing with unrealistic deadlines. There are people that want you to create something super elaborate within a very, very short amount of time. So we don't always get leniency in terms of timeline. So we have to find ways to shorten, our process. So between, Photoshop, using that gridding system, or in some cases, maybe doing a smaller drawing and then projecting that drawing onto the wall, it helps reduce that time, because if I tried to do it the way I would work on a canvas, I would be there forever. So yeah, those are some of the ways that I utilize, some tech, especially for public art, because like I said, it's really, really, it has to be really, really precise, or at least close to it. Otherwise, like I am screwed. And yeah. I don't ever want to run into any issues, like that, to where I have to ask for an extra 2 months because I did this wrong. Can I? Yeah. So I try to avoid that altogether. So that's why, I am very, very keen on, accurately measuring the scale of the wall, and then also sizing the portrait that's going to go on that wall right. And then also when it comes to using that particular fabric, I make sure I make those cuts correctly. So when it fits, especially for walls that have windows, and that's one of the only murals actually that I've done that has windows on the wall, the Maya Angelou mural. MLK will be the other one in Los Angeles, but that one required the most math and the most use of tech. And also too, with Photoshop, there's a tool that you can use where you can actually, it's like an eyedropper tool. You can actually, pinpoint what a specific color is. Yeah. So that actually helps me in creating and mixing all of my values, like a pre-mix of all the colors I'm going to use for a particular mural. So, it's really cool. It helps a lot. And I'm not guessing. Like I know exactly what I have to mix to make this specific color. Yeah. And then, even though it may not make sense, it may not look like it actually is the color that's supposed to go there. Sure. When it's all put together, it's flawless.
It saves you time.
It saves a lot of time. And like I said, with public art, you are not given a lot of grace when it comes to time. So artists have to find ways. Some artists just, some are really good enough to just, just sketch everything out with a spray can and just completely spray paint the whole thing on. I mean, there are a few that are like that. Royal Dog is one. Mr. B Baby, she's another. She's incredible, and she does it like it's nothing, but more so for me as a fine artist, I want to, and because I'm very, very precise and don't want to, make any visible errors, I work that way. So, yeah.
Sure. So